Guys, you see, I sat down and I watched this game, and from the beginning to the end, it was full of end-to-end action. In my opinion, this was one of the games that I thought Liverpool will not maybe go past PSG very easily, but it was a game that I was taking Liverpool to win. Looking at their performance in the English Premier League and their pedigree in the Champions League, it's a game that you expect them to win, especially when they are playing against PSG. No matter how good PSG has been, this is the Champions League, and PSG don't really have the Champions League pedigree like that as compared to Liverpool. This is a game that we were expecting Liverpool to comfortably win because they went to France, and I said, how on earth will you talk, or what shall it profit a man? That's the Bible will say. What shall it profit a man if you go ahead and top the Champions League group stage, play against PSG, go to France and score, and come home and lose in front of your home fans? You know what that means? Liverpool lost to PSG in the Champions League game in front of their home fans. This thing doesn't really happen. But if you go into the game proper, it was a game that PSG from the onset were not scared of taking the game to Liverpool. Liverpool has been very good this season, but one way or the other, they've always been leaving spaces behind them. PSG realized that the best they can do is to exploit the spaces, especially when they watched how they played against them in France. In as much as Liverpool ended up winning the game in France, that game, PSG deserved a result. So they looked at it and said, come on, if we can play just like that in England against Liverpool at the Anfield, there's a possibility that we'll get a very good and a decent result. So that's what they did. They started the game. Liverpool started quite well. But then, on a quickly turnover in the midfield, Liverpool players were caught ball watching. Dembele received the ball in the midfield, went all the way to his right side, followed up with a quick break. Konate, bad defending. I would say he didn't make the right decision. Whether at that point, make an attempt to clear the ball than just control it in the box. He controlled it. Dembele was around. He went for the ball, tapping, and that was it. Liverpool had so many chances in the second half, for instance, because in the first half, it was, apart from that goal, it was a bit end-to-end. By the second half, Liverpool went all out. Had so many chances in the second half. Most attempt at goal, trying to dribble their way. Every attempt they made ended up not entering into the net. And at that point, if you believe in the goals of football and you're a bit superstitious, you would feel that the goals are not in favor of Liverpool, because the number of chances they had and they failed to win was quite disturbing. And then we had to go into the extra time. I think the extra time was a bit quiet. It was as if Liverpool and both teams were playing to go into the extra time and go straight into the penalty shootout. For Liverpool fans, it was making sense, and for Liverpool, it was making sense because they were playing in front of their fans, and in the last 5 penalty shootouts Liverpool has played in front of their fans in the Champions League, they've lost only once. So they were confident that once they are playing in front of their fans in Anfield, they are always going to get a good result, but that was bad. I think it's one of the worst penalty shootouts you can think of. Yeah, Donnarumma did an excellent job by saving those kicks, but Liverpool's shots were just over the place. And after the game, there was this scenario that was in my mind. If you are someone that watched the World Cup, Qatar 2022 World Cup, when Saudi Arabia beat Argentina, the Saudi Arabia fans were singing a song. Where is Messi? Where is Messi? This is exactly what Nuno Mendes did to Mohamed Salah. Where is Mohamed Salah? The young man pocketed Mohamed Salah. If you are saying somebody has pocketed a player, in my opinion, Nuno Mendes is part of the reason why PSG managed to win this game. He always kept Mohamed Salah, blocked the spaces, the channels in which the young man can take a strike. He basically prevented Salah from playing the game. And for me, the tactical discipline, the ability to execute the game and his instructions to the latter and prevent Mohamed Salah, a player that can keep his head in the game for 90 minutes without losing focus. Salute to Nuno Mendes. For me, he is my best player. He is my player of the match because he basically kept Mohamed Salah silent throughout the game and went all out and managed that he will help his side to win. Now, this is my question. Does this mean that Mohamed Salah is out of the Ballon d'Or race? Because in this period, you need to at least win the Champions League to stand a better chance. In England, he's doing excellently well. But once that he's out of the Champions League, I'm afraid, but he has to do a lot. He would have to do a lot in the domestic league for us to see him go all the way and perhaps win. But this is a game that Liverpool fans will look at this and be very, very disappointed because this is a season that they've been doing very, very well. A season that they look like favorites to win the Champions League. He had an excellent performance in the group stages, came into the knockout phase, and man, how on earth do you lose to PSG in a Champions League game? Perhaps this is the time for PSG to win the first ever Champions League. PSG fans, what do you think? Does it look like you are winning the Champions League? Because for me, if you're able to beat this Liverpool side, if you're able to do this and beat Liverpool in this period, then I guess Luis Enrique's boys will have a lot of confidence. This is one of them exciting Champions League nights that you would love and always appreciate football. My name is Delali Frank. Until meet again, bye-bye for now.